Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to this game tutorial. So today we actually proceed to implementing our crit chance and also our crit damage stats. So if you have a look at the screen right now, we have normal hits which are 64, they're written in yellow, and we also have some critical right now that are written in red, and that is the well, pretty much just critical strikes. So if I just increase my critical damage, they will change, and we now get 300% more damage on our projectiles. So guys, that's exactly what we are implementing today, and without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so we basically have this combat text now. We basically have a lot of stuff going on, but we still haven't filled every single stat. So as you can tell, damage works, range works fine, the speed as well, hit point, regen works now that we've did it like 2 episodes ago. The crit chance is still something we haven't tackled, and the lock as well. So crit chance, crit damage, and lock are still things we need to do, and I think we're going to be doing them in that very order. So today I will do the crit chance and also the crit damage at the same exact time, because they're pretty much used at the same exact place. So guys, let's actually get started. We are going to go, where exactly do we deal damage? I think we deal damage in the tower script. So let's open up that big piece of script, and we are going to go under shoot enemy right here. So in this one, calculate crit damage. We even left a nice comment. So inside of here, we need to change things a little bit. So we're gonna say float damage is equal to stat helper dot instance dot get stat value, and we're gonna get the damage stat. So stat dot damage. Now I know we have it just a little bit below here, but since we haven't done the crit yet, we might actually want to modify this value, so I'm just putting it in here, so in a temporary float. And you know what, actually let's take this and replace this whole line. Okay, so now we have the damage value. Let's actually make sure, or actually let's calculate if we have a critical strike or not. We're going to be doing this in a really simple manner. All we have to say is if random.value, this is going to give you a number in between 0 and 1, is smaller or equal to stats helper dot instance dot get stat value, and we're gonna get the crit chance, like so. Now why exactly do I get an error on that? Okay, let's make sure we actually call the one from Unity Engine. Here we go. So if you get an error on the random, just make sure you specify which one you're calling, the one from Unity Engine. Okay, so this is what we're going to do in case it crits. So this is the crit else, and the else pretty much means it is not crit, so no crit. If we don't crit, let's just take the call we had a little bit earlier. We're simply going to say that, so nothing is really changing here. Now if we do manage to land a critical strike, we're going to say damage is plus equal damage times, and then we're gonna be doing the actual calculation here. So stats helper dot instance get stat value stat dot crit damage. And this is a big number. It's actually like 55 at level 1, I think, or level 2. So let's make sure we divide that by 100 first before we multiply. Let's actually have a look at what this gives us. So right now we hit for 64 on a normal strike. Let's actually boost up our crit chance so we have better chances of, well, landing a critical strike. And let's buy more. Okay, we almost got like 50% chance now. So let's check. Oh, I saw a big number right here. So 64, 64. And let's actually bump up the speed as well. Why not? while we have gold. So I think we're not actually landing crits, but for some reason we get these little thing here, these little tiny projectiles that don't work, and I'm just wondering why. I think it actually has to do with the actual crit chance, so let's have a look. Oh, we don't actually launch them, my bad. So we're gonna do this line, we're gonna be pasting it down here. So I'm assuming that every time we actually had a crit, it would just create a projectile there and not actually do anything with it. So let's try this again, and hopefully we get a result now. So we're going to spawn some more. So I see 99.2, and I guess that's the crit chance. Or I mean the crit damage, which is bigger than our actual normal hits. So that's exactly what I'm looking for. Now let's try and boost the crit damage. So say by 100%, so that would mean we get 64 plus 64. So 128, and that's working perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and just boost this up again. So I see like big numbers now, and that is exactly how we'd like this to work. But now it's a little bit hard to tell if it's a critical strike or not. Well, at one point it's going to be hard to tell because you're gonna have like really big numbers. So what I'd like to do is actually make sure I change the color of the text whenever I do get a critical chance, or I mean critical strike. So how exactly should we go about this? We could actually be creating a overload for this. Or you know what, we could actually be just changing this function. So I'm going to double click on this, so we select the launch projectile function, hit F12 on the keyboard. So I'm actually opening up this function inside of the projectile script, and I will add a new parameter, the bool critical, and we're going to say this.critical is equal to critical. Now we need another boolean up here, so private bool critical, and here we go. Oh, and down there as well, so on the take damage, we're going to say take damage, comma, critical. Now let's double click on this one, F12, comma here, and this is now, there is now this critical thing included, and now we can actually call it inside of our combat manager call over here. Okay, so this sounds a little bit complicated. Let's actually make sure we have no error, and we do, so we are going to go and fix them one by one. First one being the launch projectile. If we hit comma here, we get the bool critical. So this one is true. We actually landed a critical strike here. Now as for the next one, this is false. We don't actually crit. And we should have no more errors. And we don't. Okay, so our critical boolean made it all the way over here to the enemy script. So I'm currently on my enemy script, and I have this parameter I can use to actually decide which color I'm going to be using. So inside of my combat text manager call that shows the combat text, we have the color yellow right about there, and we're gonna make a ternary operator down here. So we're gonna say parentheses critical question mark. If we do land a critical strike, let's do color dot say red, and if we don't land a critical strike, we're gonna say color dot yellow. So by using this ternary operator, we should now have different color depending on the critical boolean. So let's try this out. If it's red, that means it is a crit, and if it's yellow, it's normal. So we have all these crits, and I saw a yellow one, but it was fairly fast and hard to see. So 64 here, and every time we get a 227, it's actually red. And I actually do the same exact thing I did to my health bar. So we're going to be changing the toString parameter so we can actually remove the decimals, because I don't really like seeing the 0.2. Okay, so now we're going to be finding where exactly are we putting that decimal. It is not in the show, it's actually before that. It might be in the enemy. Oh yeah, so down here in the enemy, just next to what we just changed, we are going to pass in the exact same parameter we did for the health bar. So toString, and then we open up the quotes and put a 0 in here. This way there should be no more decimal numbers in our actual combat text. So again, let's give it a small try. And we don't see the 0.2 anymore. That's exactly what we're going for. So guys, that is pretty much it for this episode. We implemented the crit. We also changed a little bit of our combat text manager so we can actually see the color of the text changing if we actually do land a critical strike. And I hope you guys enjoyed. If you learned something, please leave me a like. If you have any question or comment, you can leave them in the comment section below or on the Facebook page. Other than that, please subscribe for more tutorials like these, and I will see you in the next one.